Starting off with Tales from the Crypt, issue number 10 from the 1968 series. Pretty big sale of this book in a really high grade.
Yeah, I forgot to check the census on this. I would assume it's probably the highest. I first of all, I didn't know that there was a Tales from the Crypt in the late 60s. I think this is like magazine size.
Yes.
Yeah, CGC 96, $3,400. Um, that's the only sale ever for that high of a grade. I think there's been very few graded sales of this at all, but yeah, 3,400 for a 9.6 of this, with the super creepy dragon lemur 4-eyed dude on her shoulders. I don't even know what that thing is, but
Do you know what publisher this is from?
I think is it Eerie?
Is it Eerie? Okay.
I don't know.
There's a bunch listed, so I'm looking on the census. I was about to check the census to see.
It's 68. And
okay, yeah, it is Eerie.
Like when you go to GPA, this is the only issue. Number 10 is the only one from this. I don't know if there's more from the series or not.
No, it says the only issue.
Yeah.
You want to know how many are graded total?
How many?
7.
7 graded total?
Yeah. There's 196, 194, 192, 170, 2 5.5s, and a 5.0.
There you go. It's a lot though. 3,400. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but it's highest on the census too. Do you expect to see a 980 anytime soon?
I don't know. Well, I think there's a couple other books that are on the thing or on the list tonight that like highest on the census. And I am curious about what you guys think about books like that are like single highest on the census books.
It's like having a 1 of 1 that's a PSA 10 almost.
Yeah, I love those. I agree with Mark. Those eyes freak me out too. That's for sure. So
this looks like a Mark Spears homage book here.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, good, you crazy fool. You're on mute, brother. You can't see.
He's trying to keep this show PG-13. If he takes his mask off, it all of a sudden turns into rated R. So
yeah. You're on mute, Hood.
He can't see the computer.
He can't see it. So, yeah, thank you, Funhouse. 136 watching live and only 58 likes. Hit that like button if you can, you guys. We appreciate you. So, all right. Check the live chat, boys, if you get a chance. All right, moving on to our next almost 10 book. Nova, issue number 5. This is the Garcin Collage 1 in 50 variant. And it had a crazy sale for a raw copy of this. Holy mackerel.
Yeah. Which one was it? Hold on. Which there, the Nova. Yeah. First of all, why is this person's name Mr. Garcin?
Mr. Garcin? Because that's his last name. He's also probably like a modern artist. And Hood, you're on mute if you can't hear us. Now I see him put his headphones on. All right. Yeah, I think he's like there you go, Hood. I think this is like a modern artist type guy, so they usually have like Mr. Cartoon or something named like that. So maybe that's it.
I don't know. Yeah, 100 and a quarter for this. The last sale was like 60-ish or something like that. I've never seen this. I don't think I've ever seen this one.
I've never seen it either.
I forgot about this one. Because like in 2012 is when they had like all those collage variants with like Spider-Man. There's that Thor cover, Captain America. There's this one, and I want to say there's probably a couple more that I'm missing. But I like these original runs of the collage covers.
Yeah. They're a big deal now, that's for sure. So, but Hood, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Just making sure. All right.
Aaron talks a
120
lot, bro.
Yeah.
You know, now that I've stopped talking, right? That's my new goal for 2025 is to be a better listener. What I'm finding out is Aaron Yee talks a lot.
So says Daft Punk down there.
Yeah.
You can hear my voice from around the world.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Next, we have one of my all-time favorite books, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, issue number 1. A CGC 9.8 had a big sale this week, and this is one of the toughest books to get in 9.8. The first printing of this book is impossible to find, and even more impossible to find in decent condition.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I think I've only seen a first print, like just maybe once or twice. Like you just don't ever even see a first print, let alone a 9.8. But it did set an all-time high this week. So for 2,000, which is $600 higher than the prior all-time high for this in a 9.8. So
Wow.
It's another one of these things of, you know, there's a price for everything, and if people want it, if you don't pull the trigger and you can just sit on something for some time,
Yeah.
you can get a premium. You just have to be patient.
Yeah. There's a special edition of this that I also like. That is signed, and there's only so many of them, I think. But there's 26 prints of this.
Yep.
26. Wow.
Yeah.
26
There's
prints.
a shitload of prints, man, and some
27.
of them are super scarce.
Yeah,
I was going to say
27,
who has them all,
including the special. There's 27.
I've got about 10 of the different printings, all different, like 16 and 13, 8, 9, and 10.
and there's really no way. There's no differentiation on the cover itself.
Only
you have to open. You have to look at the inside cover, right?
Well,
Yeah.
so the first like 5 have the old school SLG logo, so you can tell by the old school if it's like the first 5 printings. But you're right, Stein. In order to see if it's a first, you have to look on the inside.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was a crazy amount of printing. I mean, like collecting the Killing Joke, that was a crazy amount. And I'm not going down that path again of chasing any book that has more than 10 printings.
Yeah.
Ever again, because that was too much.
Yeah. I also like his other books too. Squee, I believe. I Feel Sick.
I Feel Sick, and Lenore.
Lenore is somebody else.
Oh,
But
it is.
yeah,
it
yeah.
is. You're right, bro.
Johann Vasquez did the rest. Lenore was, God, who was Lenore? I can't remember who Lenore was.
But it was drawn in
Similar
almost
style.
the same, very similar style.
Yeah, Rowan something was Lenore, I think. Something like that.
This is such a cool book, and it really it was so different for its time. It's hard to compare, like, what's a book that's kind of done that in the last 10 years, kind of just been the outlier. But this had such a big following when it first came out.
Yep.
I would love to have a 9.8. I have a 9.4 and a 9.6. I don't have the special edition, but issues 2, 3, and 4 are just as hard and as pricey as the first one, but
Yeah.
it's a fun read, and Johan did for Cartoon Network. What was the
Invader Zim.
title? Yeah, Invader Zim.
Oh,
So
nice.
very talented artist, very
Well,
talented.
Not to a shameless plug. I sold a really high grade copy first print to Luis Mendoza, who's in the chat tonight on my Whatnot sale. And I also have a set of 1 through 6. Number 1's like a second or third print, and the rest are all first prints, and those will be going up.
How much you want for that, man?
So we'll
Find
see.
out Black Friday on Brian's
Yeah,
Whatnot
yeah.
sale.
I
Oh,
will.
you're having a sale on Friday? Okay.
I don't know if
Claim.
I am gonna have a sale on Sunday, so come hang out Sunday night.
Oh man, you're having a sale Friday. I already claimed it. Just
All
go
right.
on for a minute. I claim it. Send it. Right, we're the 1 minute Whatnot sale,
Yes.
or it's legitimately only 1 minute.
Well, be on the lookout for it, you guys. Any.
I thought it was funny anyway.
All right, here we go. Moving on. Shadowman issue number 13, the famous Shane Davis 1 in 50. This is a classic variant, probably one of those variants that helped kick off the variant age, right? I mean, this was one of those ghost books back when you guys were first writing the ghost list, right, Stein?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this wasn't that old. This is 2013, so it's but yeah, I mean it's definitely one of those that you just don't see. To be honest, it sold this week for 400. It has sold for more than that before, but I mean, Valiant stuff for, I mean, probably what, the last 5, 6 years has not really sold for much. So I mean, this one was still in the like the 250 range ish. But again, this week it sold for 400 raw.
Wow.
It's just,
Yeah, I think Mercenaut was looking for a clean copy of this. I think we talked about it on the.
Long story short.
Yeah.
So,
So this has always been one of those obscure ones that was always on the list. I remember back in the Flipside days, and
I was gonna say it looks more like a Flipside book than it did.
Shane
Definitely
Davis
one of
has some really sneaky, crazy, rare variant covers and some really good ones too. So be on the lookout for that big SD signature on those covers. So real quick, I got to shout out Hood and the Righteous Flipper, who on the industry show the other night had a great conversation in the chat about Hood's uncle. And Hood sent me a bunch of pictures. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I was going through books to, I was double checking books that I had in my to grade piles to, go through them again just to take out, the ones where I don't think are going to grade high. And I found 4 copies of El Gato Negro. I think that's what it's called, right? And 4 copies of the what's the other one? The Tejas one?
Relampago.
No, I didn't find the Relampago. I found the El Gato Negro and the other one, the Tejas one, from Azteca, I think it is.
Yeah, I don't think my uncle did that
Okay.
one.
Okay. All right. The
But
reason I
it's
bring
all
that
good.
up, yeah, I think that Righteous Slipper was talking about those too. So
Yeah,
it just
I
immediately
thought he was
took me
talking
back.
shit about my uncle, dude. That's why I got and I was like, "What the fuck? How do you know?" Like, evidently he used to shop there. I don't know who the fuck he is. I told him to hit me up on my IG. He still hasn't hit me up on my IG. I don't know what his
Well,
problem
he
is.
loved your uncle so much so that he wrote a paper about your uncle and about that book, brother.
Yeah, dude, but what struck me as odd, because I donated a copy to the museum. I was like, "What do you mean you donated? I got like 25 copies." Like you didn't need to donate anything. Like and my cousin, I talked to him the other day. I was just like, man, there was this guy on the pod that was saying he donated like he had like the only copy in the United States. I go, bro, like you could have contacted any one of us.
Look
you
at
know,
Hood can't take a freaking compliment from somebody that even.
man, because I guess and it's my thing. It's like whether it's email or something like that, you look at the written word, and it has so many different meanings, Brian, and
I
it
know,
could be
dude.
taken. So, but I was going to say at the end of the chat, it was like a
Family
nice
member.
feel good type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, you guys had a great conversation in the chat, and it was a lot of fun. So if you guys get a chance, go check that out. Check out the chat. Shout out to the Righteous Flipper. Hood, I really want to do a show on that one of these days. So we got to get together
man.
with the Righteous
Yeah,
Flipper,
I'll
your
get
cousin.
some books together, and
Yeah.
man, good
Yeah.
stuff.
He said Righteous Flipper in the chat says several academic papers. So that's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. All right,
Yeah,
here we go.
I love you, Righteous Flipper.
Yeah, that's cool, man. All right, moving on. Next, we have a crazy book, a beautiful cover by Peter Steigerwald, who is an amazing colorist and artist in his own right. And this book, this cover really just shows that. Executive Assistant Assassins, issue number 1, the 2012 SDCC cover, variant cover, limited to 500. And I feel like this book should sell for much more than it sold for.
Yeah, so it sold for 35, but I couldn't even find a sale in the last 3 years on this. So I initially, when I first saw it, I thought, oh, this looks like a bubble gum cover, but nope, she's got a pacifier in her mouth, so which is really
that kind of
Well, she's a raver. She's at a rave. It
I
makes
was gonna
sense.
say, y'all
Yeah.
never been to a rave before?
Yeah.
God, I don't remember the pacifiers. I remember like the
Yeah.
glow sticks.
come on. Do you really think that that I look like that person?
Oh no, wait, there is that one dude.
No. Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah, I
joking
don't
around.
I-
See, it looks a lot better if you're on Molly.
I would love to find this book, man. Aspen
Man, you guys are
2019.
just too cool for me, man.
Mm-hmm.
Only 500 of them.
Yeah, I will say this was a con. This was a con, right? But it honestly, if you look at, I mean, I know it's Aspen, but man, there are some really nice covers. If you go to their website, that you can get books from them for really cheap that are really good covers by some really like well-known artists and stuff like that. I feel like there's some gems on their website that
Get overlooked.
yeah, I mean just a bunch of them. But what do I know? Not
I
much.
agree, man. I agree. So a lot of those guys came up with Michael. Shout out to Joe Benitez, who him and Peter do a lot of work together. They work together on many covers. Joe Benitez gives Peter a lot of credit for how good those covers come out. And both of those guys were there at the beginning in that Top Cow Studios with Turner. So I imagine a lot of those guys went and worked at Aspen because they came up together. So I would love to get even more in-depth documentary on the Image, different groups and cliques within the Image Comics, imprints. So that'd be dope.
Next time you have like Liefeld on the industry show, Brian, man, you gotta get him to delve deeper into that, because they had their little imprints and artists were going back and forth from different, like if one got their feelings hurt, didn't get enough art that month, they were jumping to Jim Lee's imprint, and then from there they were jumping to Silvestri. So I would like to hear who was the biggest fucking crybaby out of all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to hear that information. So, but all right, moving on. This one's great. Deadpool vs. Gambit, issue number 1, the Zdarsky 2016 San Diego Comic-Con variant, which is also a pretty rare book in its own right.
Yeah, and I think this may. I have to go back and look, but I don't remember there being hardly any sales in a 9.8 of this. If there was any sales in a 9.8 of this, but it sold for $250 this week. How rare is this?
Super tough book.
We talked about this on Long Story Short, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Is this one the one that's limited to like 500 or something stupid like that?
Don't know.
Yeah, I just remember it was a San Diego Comic-Con book, and it's always been like one of those tough to find books.
I love how it says the V is for verses, so I put verses in the title instead of V.
Nice.
But yeah, this is a ghost book. So
Yeah, I don't think, and I'm a huge Deadpool collector, right? I don't think I've ever seen this book in person, like once.
and it's a Zdarsky drawn cover, which he doesn't
Even
draw
adds
that
more
many.
to it. Yeah.
So good stuff. All right, moving on. This one's awesome. Biohazard 2, issue number 22, the Hong Kong Jill special edition. And I bet you there's a lot of people that never heard about this, but this has something to do with Evil Dead, or not Evil Dead, what's it called? Resident Evil. If I'm not mistaken. Does that sound right?
I don't know. I have no clue. So was this only sold in Hong Kong? Is that,
Yeah, it's the
I don't
22nd volume of a 60-part Manhwa series published by Hong Kong's King's Foundation Publishing and is officially licensed by Capcom. The regular cover, here's the regular cover. Let me go ahead and show you this. That's the regular cover. Now, if you guys don't know, they originally called Resident Evil Biohazard, but they had to change it in the US because of the band already had that name and they trademarked it. So in the United States, it's called Resident Evil. In Japan, it's called Biohazard. So,
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, super cool.
I initially, when I first saw this, I didn't know what year it was from, and I saw Biohazard in like China, and I thought this had something to do with like Wuhan or something like. I was like, "What? What is this thing about?"
From China.
Yeah. Yep. So, gold-plated cover design is what they call it. The Jill limited edition.
Yeah, CGC 9.4 sold for $250 of this.
Wow.
I don't know how rare this book. I have no idea how rare this book is.
I think it's pretty rare. That's for sure.
Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah. This fandom's like rabid.
Yep. Amen.
When it comes to anything. Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Next, we have another interesting book from a Comic-Con. This is one of two Comic-Con programs that we have. This is Tampa Comic-Con Comix presents Santa Claus Funnies, issue number 1 from 2009. And that's an interesting cover. I was hoping that when I looked at it, I thought that was a gun he was holding, but it's a fishing pole. So...
Now, that does change the context a little bit, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even know what's on the inside of this. I don't know who drew. First of all, I didn't even know Tampa had a Comic-Con. Do they still have a Comic-Con?
I didn't know Santa lived in Tampa.
That's where he went to go retire, duh. So when you open it inside, it's an advent calendar.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Is it really?
No, I don't know. Yeah, and you can find where the next panel is at the convention. So.
Yeah.
I feel like these con things with like one, I feel like they don't have them as much anymore as they used to, but I feel like they should, like, I mean, with all the covers that all these people put out, like can't they just take one of these covers and make it for like the con, whatever this is? I don't know. I don't even know what this is. Like, is this I mean, is this comics inside, or is this just a program?
It might be either. You know what I mean? It could be either. Santa Claus Funnies is an original comic from way back in the day, so it is interesting.
Oh, what if it's a con exclusive cover
From 2009? That'd be interesting.
I don't know. $90 for this one though.
I just think, as we get to the season, anything like with Santa Claus on it is always spikes during this time, whether it's Walt Disney Christmas Parade or just a killer looking Santa Claus, or it always takes a spike, like Halloween covers, and then like you look at the movies like the Ryan Reynolds and who's the Santa Claus, what's the fucking movie called?
I don't know.
Where they steal Santa Claus, god damn it. The newest one.
Red one?
Put in the chat. Are you serious, dude? Like nobody knows?
The red one?
Yeah, the red one. God damn, dude. I hate when y'all do that. No, never heard of it. Came out last week. Never heard of it.
Sorry. Man. Joe needs some chill pills.
Man, if we go out, you guys will probably get me killed, man. You guys will probably get killed. No, don't know this guy Red Hood. No.
Man, one eye makes you mean.
No, man. I'm sorry.
It's the drugs.
Yeah.
That's Tylenol 4, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
all right.
It's been 3 hours. It's time for your next one.
Yeah. Sister Kylo
Nurse,
says,
get in here.
Sister Kylo says, gotta love these lists when nobody knows what the book is, but it's on the list. Don't you realize already yet that that's what the Almost 10 is? That's the reason we have an Almost 10. So we could talk about these books that we might not know about and talk to you about them too. So congratulations.
Who put that?
But this is for the audience participation too, to correct us when we're being dumb and stupid.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
where it's
yeah.
like
which is every time.
Which is every
Yeah,
time.
it's like-
yeah.
where it's like I'm from Tampa, like blah blah blah. Like
No, but these are book, like if you find a book like this and it's an outlier, it's like what's in that book that's causing that book to sell? What does somebody know that we don't know? And it causes you to go and dig and research what's in there. Could be a first appearance of something that we don't know, that we haven't discovered yet. There are so many books out there that are low-key gems. And these are ways that you find those gems by finding outliers on eBay or Amazon. It's like, why did that sell for that amount? Somebody knows something.
And that's why we show them. Yep, to find out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No pushback. Just telling you why we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Moving on. Another interesting book this week, Action Comics issue 695. This is another book that I don't know anything about, and it's a rare book, Eastern News variant. Now, Action Comics 695 is not a rare book. It's a cool book where Lobo teams up with Superman or fights Superman, but I don't know what the Eastern News variant is. And as you can see down in the box there, it says Eastern News over the barcode, and that's how you know that this is that variant. I don't know any other way to tell, but I've never heard of
anybody who has any information on something like this. Like it I mean, it's clearly a newsstand, and instead of it saying direct sales, they put Eastern News over that. Did Eastern News do that themselves? I mean, could you replicate this on a newsstand and just put in Eastern News? I have no idea. I don't know what this is. I don't even know what Eastern News is.
So weird.
It's so weird. I saw this listing and I was like, what Eastern news? Like, what is that? I mean, I know just from doing the DCU stuff back in the day. I mean, I know that there was some, some retailers that would put stickers over the barcodes. I've never seen this one before. So if anybody has any information, did they do this on other issues or was just this issue? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But this sold for 110 raw. I don't even know if like CGC would grade this if it is like a secondary stamp or something.
So it sold for 110 raw. What was the description on it? Do you remember?
It just says Eastern News Rare Eastern News Newsstand. Here we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
I found a Reddit post about this from
Okay.
2 years ago.
There we go.
Eastern News was the original name of the magazine and magazine's distribution company that eventually became Independent News, then National, then DC.
Oh yeah, that's what Sister Kyla just said too.
There we go.
That went bankrupt in 1931 to be supplemented by Independent News. So I don't know.
So then why did they do an Eastern News if...
Okay, so
Yeah.
companies do this to track their products. News distribution companies have return policies based on various criteria. By having the publisher print a different UPC exclusive to them only, the company can keep track of the books they sold as opposed to those that bought through other channels. If a distributor allowed companies to return unsold copies, then without the ability to track with the product with the UPC, a unscrupulous retailer could return copies not purchased from that specific distributor. This is true for all types of products at just about every retailer you ever shopped at, especially for the big brand consumables like laundry detergents or dish soaps.
Yeah. Look at that. Sister Kylo says all the same information. You want a job? We're not going to pay you, and you have to stay up till late on Friday night. But
I like James Kreider's answer.
yeah, I do too. That's a good one.
My money's on Kreider.
That would be interesting if it was in the airports in the east.
I guarantee James, it's at least 80% right.
Yeah.
I can Google search too.
Jeremy Weymouth says, I have this book. Do you have the Eastern News variant? If you do, brother, that is awesome. That was awesome.
You know the scary thing, Yee? I don't think James Kreider Googles anything. I think that dude just knows.
I think Sister Kylo is that same way.
James scares me.
That's why we need to get her or him a job. And it's not hard working for me. Not at all. You just have to have plenty of cannabis to give me because I don't pay you. You pay me in cannabis to work for me. But that's how
you can't work for Bryan because you can't get a hold of him. You send him a message and he never responds.
Yeah.
And then what you really find out is when you meet up with Bryan, it's the opposite fact that he just keeps on handing you more and more cannabis, and you just like have to try to keep up. So.
Moving on. Next, G.I. Joe Real American Hero issue 252, the Warren Lau Baroness cover. Now, there was this one that was limited to 500, and then a variant with a different background that's limited to 250. That was a Virgin, I believe. But this is from IDW back in 2018.
Yeah, 125 for this one. This one's steadily been going up for like the last year. Like last summer, it was like 60, and it's just kind of slowly been creeping up and up to where 125 is pretty much the high on this. I know we brag on store variants all the time and tell everybody that they're not really, generally they're not like long-term investments, but if you find one that's got a fairly low print run and a cover that people are drawn to for whatever reason, it can be collectible. You just have to wait. You have to wait till people that have them stick them in their boxes and don't look at them for a long time to where people then it's really hard to find them. So you just have to wait on some of these things. You look back at some of the Dynamic Forces books that are now super expensive, or the Graham Cracker that are very expensive. I mean, they're like 15 years old. It took them like 15 years to be expensive.
To appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guarantee if she has to take a shit, it's going to be a problem getting that shit off. Let me tell you, I used to date a chick. We went to the club one time. It was a Halloween. It was a Halloween weekend, and she was wearing something like that. And her girlfriends even told her, "Don't drink too much because it's a bitch to get that off, right?" And she just, man, she was a fucking she drank like a motherfucker, and so needless to say, she was crying, "Help me!" Like, so it took 3 of them to get that shit off, where she could go to the bathroom. It was a scene, and so when I look at that book, I can't help but think, like, you're going into battle. What do you got to take a shit? Like, you're going to get a whole bunch of people killed. I don't think that's the real Baroness, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. I believe it. I believe it. I'm with Hood. So
Okay, is anybody else just thinking of, like, first of all, Hood, did they put you on like heavy sedation? Because all I'm thinking is like the videos
same thing
of
Smokey
people
Collects is thinking.
then like when they come out of it and they're just saying the strangest things in the world. That's what
I'm my size of kite, dude. Half of my head is still numb, dude. Bro, I touch my head, dude, and it's still numb, dude. Listen, dude.
Can you hear your hair growing?
Bro, like I touch my face, dude, it's still fucking numb, bro. I swear, like I could put like a needle on my forehead and I wouldn't feel it.
Oh man, Joe's got to smoke with us one day, Brian.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. All right, moving on. I got a couple books that I added here that Stein doesn't know about. Official History of Bongo, Bongo Comics, the Ash Can from 1993. This is the very first Bongo comic, limited to 750, and this sold raw for $750.
I saw that. I did see this. So because I was sitting there going, what is going on with this? I never even heard of it. And I was trying to find, there have been a few sales over like the past several years or whatever. And I think there was a graded one that sold like maybe it was like a 9.6 or 9.4 or something. It sold for like, $2,000 or something like that.
Crazy.
That's
crazy.
It is crazy.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Did this come out? So 93. Did this come out before?
After.
Like Simpsons? Yeah, before Simpsons Comics #1.
Oh yeah, this is the first Bongo Comics. This is the first. I guess this would be the first Simpsons comic. I believe.
Well, why would they have an official history of Bongo Comics if they've never had a Bongo?
I think that was the joke, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah. I could be wrong.
I don't know, man. That comic is badass.
It is.
Oh, so Simpsons comic #1 is also 1993.
So there you go.
So, but I don't know what month.
No. Very cool book. We have one more also that's hopefully Stein saw because this is beautiful. Another Comic-Con book, 2015 North Carolina Comic-Con program, a gorgeous Adam Hughes Spider-Gwen cover.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mama!
Sold for $299 raw.
Wow.
Damn, that's good, dude. What
Yeah.
the hell? Put that on a comic book, bro.
I feel like they
Dude,
might
I
have
feel
tried.
cheated when I
Yeah.
see this shit, dude.
It's good. It's good.
It's
It's
probably
good.
his commission.
Bro, it's like, what publisher? Nah, I don't like it, Adam. Give me that other drawing, bro. I like that other one. I think
Well,
that other one will do well.
This is pretty
Yeah.
interesting because
And Adam is like, okay, I guess I'll save this for the program.
yeah. Yeah, there is somebody that owns the art to this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dinesh.
No, I looked and I don't think it was Dinesh. The original art is on Comic Art Fans. So
Wow.
yeah.
Speaking of art, Hood, did you see what that Spider-Man 601 Campbell
No, what did
OA
it go
sold
for? What did it go
100
for?
144K.
Wow.
Yep.
Like I predicted, one house.
The highest, I think it was the highest Campbell OA ever.
Wow.
And-
That's one of my favorite comics ever.
We're gonna try and put together another OA show this Wednesday. So come hang out with us on Wednesday, and we're gonna go over that entire sale because there was some great sales in that heritage auction. So this Wednesday on Beyond Wednesdays for Wednesday Night Review, another OA Club show.
Is that Campbell's greatest cover?
No,
Like,
but it's
without
close.
a doubt.
It's up
No,
there.
but like, let me rephrase that. Is that his signature cover? Like, if
Oh, is that what he's most known for?
if there's a Hall of Fame, like
His quintessential.
quintessential.
Is that his most iconic cover? Is that what you're asking?
I like
Yeah.
Gen 1312 or whatever it is, where she's standing there and they're all behind her, and I love that one as the quintessential J. Scott Campbell cover.
See, I can't picture that in my head. I can picture the Amazing
What
Spider-Man.
pumps that book is it's an ASM with Mary Jane and Spidey on it. That's what elevates it. You know, you got Gen 13, it's an independent title, and you know, a lot of people know about it, but when you put him on that guy's book, the Spidey in red, you know, it just takes on another level, man.
Yeah, I agree.
And that is just a banger book. I mean, he's got some bangers, but that one is on posters, it's on cards, it's even a graded card of that cover goes for $200, $250. I was looking online the other day. It's
Hey, all I know is you can argue about which one is his best cover, but nobody can argue with his worst cover, which is
oh my god, dude, don't even bring it up, man.
Yeah.
That's by far his worst cover.
Bro, he had his tooth pulled that day. He was high as shit. He had to finish. He was on a deadline.
He was missing his right eye.
Yeah. Hey, dude, don't put that evil on Jay Campbell, bro.
Wait, which cover is his worst cover?
Xena, I think it's Xena #1 or Xena #2.
Yeah, he drew Xena like she had a cock, bro.
It's
She looks like a man. Yeah,
yeah,
she's
it's
a
just
man, baby.
They both look like men. Yeah,
it's kind of like
But,
the JTC Jubilee book. I should have asked
this
him about that.
This
Didn't get a
Adam
chance to
Hughes,
ask him.
bro. If he put this on a book tomorrow, it would be $100 book, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Oh. All right, you guys, that is the Almost 10.